begin our class today, finding a nice comfortable position onto your stomach. So coming all the way down, I'm going to stay upright for a little bit just so you can hear me. You'll be coming all the way forwards and give yourself a little pillow for your forehead. So maybe one palm stacked on top of the other, resting right where your third eye is. And allow that to be an area of grounding. Once you find this position, just allow yourself to listen to your breath and feel any movements into the stomach as your breath expands into the ground and coming back towards you. It's a very introspective pose. Feel that natural rhythm, that natural flow of your breath. Allow yourself to be here for about 3 or 4 more breaths. Really nice and long. Really nice and deep. Very slowly, let's start rising up into Sphinx position. So bring your forearms to the ground and stack your elbows right under your shoulders. Spread your fingertips apart and gaze forward. So have your collarbone spread wide. Send a few breaths into the heart space. And from here, let's find a little bit of a cat and cow-like motion. So nice big breath in as you spread the collarbone wide. As you breathe out, round through the spine and allow a little bit of a lift into the low belly. Inhale, roll the heart forwards and up. Exhale, a little bit of a roundness and tuck of the chin. Flow a few more times here, working to open up the upper half of the spine. And the whole time, your pubic bone is glued to the ground. Staying nice and firm there to protect the low back. Landing back in our Sphinx with the heart lifted. Let's now lace the right fingertips just behind the left elbow and the left fingertips in front. We're going to wander the hands as far away from each other as they can go. Shoelace tying at the arms. Then allow your chin to rest onto the upper arms. We're creating a lot of space between the shoulder blades here. Allow the breath to flow freely. And it begins to start to inchworm your way back to where we started and send both fingertips forward once again. Let's rinse that all out with a couple more of those Sphinx cat and cows. Inhale, sending the heart forwards. Exhale, provide a little roundness into the spine. Do this a couple more times, flowing with breath. Landing back towards your Sphinx. And let's head to the other side. So this time your left fingertips travel first. They go behind the right elbow, then right fingertips in front. Wander the hands away, lacing yourself as tight as you can go. And then rest and surrender down. Couple more breaths here. And in this type of pose, you're allowing the weight of your own body deep in the pose. As gracefully as possible, inchworm your way back one more time. And fingertips come forwards. We'll lower all the way down to your stomach. And reach your right arm all the way out by your side. Your left palm is going to come right under the shoulder. Let's bring a bend into the left knee as well. We're going to start peeling up the left side. So press through the palm, come to the right side of your body. I'm just going to allow my foot to come to the ground behind the other foot. It's a nice big pec stretch into the front of your chest and into the shoulder. Good. Let's slowly roll back through center, head the other way. So left arm's going to be outstretched, right hand right under the shoulder. Start peeling yourself up to the left side of the body, and the right foot is your kickstand. Take a couple breaths here. Let's begin rolling back to your front body. Both hands now point back behind you, and the tops of the hands onto the ground. Let's roll the shoulders back, point the toes, find a little lift through the heart, come into a small locust, just waking up all the muscles on your back. And melt it all down. Hands come under shoulders, press your hips to heels in a child's pose. I'm choosing to have nice wide knees here, arms outstretched out front. And once again, I'm seeking for my third eye to be heading down towards the ground to rest there. Now, if your arms aren't already outstretched towards the front, let's bring them there. I'm going to rise up as if I'm coming towards table, but now I'm coming down into puppy pose, or also known as heart chakra pose, Anahatanasana. So walk your hands forward as much as they'll go. Start with your forehead onto the ground and allow your heart to become heavy, melting towards the ground. If it feels secure enough, you might choose to place your chin onto the ground. Your hips are right over your knees. Slowly rising back up. This time we are finding tabletop. Hands right under the shoulders, knees under hips. Let's inhale. Send the right toes behind you, kicking through the heels. Stay really firm through the whole back leg and through the spine. Exhale. Bring the knee towards the nose, round the spine. Inhale. Send the heart forwards. Kick back through the heel. Exhale. Bring it all forwards. Do this 2 more times. Inhales to lengthen, find that strength, and exhales to round. Final round, if my counting was correct. Keep the knee rather close to you, so rounding through the spine. Tuck the other toes under, the back toes, and we're going to bring ourselves all the way up to a 3-legged dog. Kick through that heel now. Good. Follow that same pattern. Exhale, right knee towards nose. Inhale, kick through center. Exhale, pull it towards you. Last round. This time we will step forwards. Exhale, knee to nose, step all the way forwards. We'll keep the back knee up. You're more than welcome to keep it down though. Inhale, lift the arms overhead. Exhale, send the heart forwards towards a runner's lunge. While your hands are back behind you, let them find one another. Pull the hands down to lift the heart once again, and we'll pause here for a few breaths, keeping the heart wide open. So my hands are laced up, drawing my shoulder blades back together, lift through the heart space. 2 more breaths, holding here. Let the hands come back down towards the ground. We'll step to plank and lower down to your stomach. Untuck the toes when you arrive. Hands right under the shoulders. Press the pubic bone into the ground. Inhale, lift the heart, baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. Do this 2 more times. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale to lower. Last one. And lower back down. Press through hands and knees. Bring your hips to heels in a quick little child's pose. Rise back up to table, and we're setting up for the other side. So this time, left heel kicks up behind you. Inhale, take a look forwards, lots of strength through the leg. Exhale, pull the knee towards you. Inhale, long spine, lots of strength. Exhale, everything gathers together. 2 to go with your breath. Let the breath be fluid and smooth, just like your movements. Keep the knee rather close to you in this last one. My right toes tuck underneath.
pressing all the way up and back as I kick through my back heel, arriving at three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose. Inhale, bring the foot up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. This last one, inhale, kick through the heel. Exhale, knee to nose, foot keeps traveling forwards between the hands. Inhale, arms rise up overhead, high lunge. Exhale, send the heart forwards, arms go behind. As I'm here, my hands reach for one another. I'm going to lace up my hands the opposite way. So I'm in a non-dominant root. Pull the hands down to lift the heart once again. And I'm staying here for 3 more breaths. And release as you exhale, hands find the ground. Step back to plank and flow which way you like. I'm going to come to a chaturanga at this point. Inhale for upward facing dog. And exhale back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. In this down dog, you can walk your feet out, sway the hips, do anything you like. Finding stillness in this down dog again. Take a look forwards. Let's travel to the hands, tiptoe, hop or step to meet them. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, float back forwards. Press through your feet, reach the arms all the way up overhead. And exhale, hands come down beside you. Tadasana. All right, how are we doing so far? Okay. So at the top of the mat, we'll continue on together. Bring big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. If you rather would come to feet hip distance, you're more than welcome. We're coming down to chair pose, bend into the knees. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold forwards, pour over the legs. Inhale, rebound, halfway lift. Exhale, touch the earth. Responsibly make your way back to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. And exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg behind you. Exhale, knee to nose and step forwards. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale to chaturanga. We're keeping it nice and quick right now, building a little bit of heat. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog, heading to the other side. Inhale, lifts the left leg. Exhale, knee to nose, step all the way forwards. We're coming into high lunge. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands come back down. Step back for a flow, or you can always press straight to downward facing dog. So it's a little play on our Surya Namaskar B. We added a little bit of a change there. Good, let's pause here. About 3 more breaths together. That's 1. And 2. And on 3, bend your knees, take a look forward, step or hop to the hands. Inhale, halfway lift the spine. Exhale, fold back down. Bend into the knees. Arms rise overhead. Exhale, press to stand, hands come down beside you. Lovely. Bending into the knees. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, hands touch down. Work your way back to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. And exhale to downward facing dog. Using your next breath in, let's lift the right leg behind you. And your exhale, gather everything together and step forwards. Inhale into our high lunge. Let's add on from here. Exhale, bend into the back knee. Pull the legs together, bring your hands down into cactus. Inhale, reach everything back up. Exhale, pull everything down. Inhale to lift back up.
3 more. Let the legs really work here. So imagining your front heel and your back toes pulling together this whole time. On this last one, I'm going to stay low with the legs. They're still working really, really hard. Now sweep the hands behind you, clasp the hands together, pull the hands down the back and provide a little bit of a back bend here, gazing up towards the ceiling. Keep the breath calm. One last breath. As we transition out, keep your hands clasped. We're going to straighten both legs and pivot and drop your back heel. Bend back into your front knee. So we find warrior 2 legs. Inhale, pull the hands down the back, lift the heart. As you exhale, coming forwards towards humble warrior. Bow forwards towards the inner right knee. And I'm choosing to lift my hands up over my head to find a nice deep opening into the shoulders. They might want to stay glued to your low back, and that's fine too. Begin pulling your hands back towards the low back to lift the crown up. And release the hands out to warrior 2. Coming forwards, we'll come into extended side angle. Reach forwards as far as you can go. We can start with the elbow shelved if you would like. But since we've already worked into quite a bit of shoulder opening, I'm going to come into a bound variation. So I'll bring my hand down to the inner side of my front foot. You can come into a half bind to start, so the top hand comes to the low back. Take a look up towards the ceiling. Continue to feel that top shoulder rolling back. And perhaps your bottom arm reaches underneath as well and holds on to its other hand. Roll your shoulder back, take a look upwards. And gently we'll release the hands, come back up to warrior 2. Reversing the shape, left hand skis down, reach the right fingertips up. Go ahead and cartwheel everything forwards. Work through a flow if that's what you're feeling, or you can always press straight to downward facing dog. Let's head to the other side. Inhale, lift the left leg behind you. Exhale, stepping all the way forwards. Inhale, lift the fingertips up. Exhale, everything pulls down. 4 more like this. Inhales, reaching tall. Exhale, gather everything together. Inhales to lift you up. And exhale, coming down. 2 more. Last one, and we stay bent. Legs working hard. Hands come behind. Lace the hands up your non-dominant root. Pull the hands down the back to lift the heart. And pause here. Press through both feet, lift all the way up, keep the hands bound as you find warrior 2 legs. Bend into the left knee, right heel grounded. Lift the heart as you breathe in. As you breathe out, bowing forwards towards the inner left knee. Hands come up towards the sky. As you're down in this humble warrior, you can always say hello to that knee that you're next to, so it's your left knee. Just make sure it's still over your ankle. If it seems to be falling in towards you, which is very natural, just squeeze your left glute and try to direct it back over the ankle. Rising back up, lift all the way, warrior 2. Head towards extended side angle, reach forwards. Starting with our modified variation. If you feel like deepening it, this is when the left palm comes to the inside of your left foot. Find your half bind, right hand to the low back. Take a look up towards the ceiling, and perhaps those hands are close, you can bind. So you might be able to see here, my bottom arm, my left arm, is holding onto my right wrist. I had a little teacher tell me a little cue to remember, and it's the wrapper is the grabber. So if you are ever binding, the wrapping hand is the one that grabs onto the opposite wrist. Releasing that, come all the way up, warrior two, reverse the shape, and head down for a flow if that's where you're heading. You can always head straight to stillness. Just bring your gaze forwards towards the hands, tiptoe, hop, or step to meet them. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, float back down. Bend into the knees, chair pose, lift the heart. Exhale, press to stand, hands down beside you. All right. Once again, heading towards our chair. Bend into the knees, arms rise overhead. Let's turn our chair into an eagle. Start grounding into your right foot, get light onto the left toes. Cross your left knee over your right. You might be able to twist tie a second time to tuck the toes. And now you're going to nuzzle your left elbow on top of the right elbow. You might keep hands on opposite shoulders or twist tie one more time to get the palms to touch. Oh, and I had my arms actually backwards. So let's nuzzle your right elbow on top of your left. Lovely. All right. Sitting low. Reach the fingertips a little bit taller. Press through your right foot, your standing foot. Lift the left knee up, and we'll step back to land into a lunge with eagle arms. Let's inhale. Pull the fingertips a little bit taller. Exhale, round forwards. Move slowly here. Two more like this. Inhale. Lift the fingertips. Gaze lifts. Exhale, round forwards. Last one. Inhale, lift the fingertips tall. Keep the hands bound. Just pivoting and dropping your back heel, landing back into your warrior two legs. Reach the fingertips a little bit taller. We're coming once again into our humble warrior, bowing towards the inner right knee, but this time hands are ahead of you rather than behind you. You might even come a little bit lower here, so reach down with your elbows as well as your fingers, so the whole forearm is reaching towards the ground. Gets a little bit lower into the hips. Begin rising back tall and unwind your arms to warrior two. We'll straighten your front leg and pivot your toes to face the long edge of the mat. Let's bring both hands to your waist. Inhale, grow tall through the spine. Exhale, fold forwards. When your crown drops, let your fingertips drop as well. And use the first moment here just to allow the head to get a little heavier. Maybe loosen up at the jaw. Little nod. No. Little nod of yes. You can always deepen the pose by walking the hands a little further back or perhaps even reaching for the outer feet to pull the crown down. Slowly, let's release and walk yourself forward so you halfway lift. Bring your hands to your waist. Bend into the knees and press all the way to stand. Let's turn your right toes back towards the top. Bend into the knees, find warrior two, and cartwheel the hands forward. Add in a flow if that's the direction that you're heading, or pressing straight to downward facing dog. Bring your gaze forwards. Travel to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, float back down. Bend into the knees. Arms lift overhead. Utkatasana. We'll head straight into the other side. Grounding through your left foot. Right knee comes on top. Right. Twist tie one or two times. Now, your left elbow nuzzles on top of your right, either choosing that opposite shoulder variation with palms there, or twist tie to bring them together. Sit a little lower. Lift the fingers a little taller. Stay nice and firm through your standing foot. Straighten that leg, lift the right knee. Tilt forwards as you kick behind you, landing the toes far away into an eagle lunge. 3 movements up and down here with breath. Inhale, reach the fingers a little taller. Exhale to round forwards. Inhale, lift on up. Very slowly. Exhale, roll forwards. Last one. Lift nice and tall once again. Ground your right heel, opening you up to warrior 2 legs with eagle arms, and then head on forwards towards the inner left knee. Nice heavy head, reaching down with the elbows as well as the fingertips, bringing yourself a little bit deeper into the hips. Begin rising nice and tall all the way up. Unwind the arms, warrior 2. Straighten your front leg and send your left toes forwards. This time around, let's clasp opposite hands. Draw the shoulders together, lift the heart, and then hinge from the waist over your legs. Once again, just make sure that your head is relaxed, your neck is relaxed. How deep your hands come off your low back is up to you. Depends on how the shoulders are feeling. To come out of this one, start growing nice and tall through the crown, halfway lift, and pull your hands to your low back to lift you all the way up to stand. Release the hands, send the left toes back to the top and bend into your front knee, warrior 2. Cartwheel the hands forward, touch the ground, work through your flow, or not, and we'll meet in a downward facing dog. Just bring your gaze forwards. Tiptoe hopper step to meet the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, float back forwards. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, Tadasana. All right, so if you're using blocks today, this is when they might come in handy. And if you have them around or anything like 2 jars or a stack of books, you can just bring them ahead of you and about shoulder distance apart if you're using them. I'll bring them a little closer so you can see. Okay. Let's cross your right ankle in front of your left. And make sure you have enough room between your feet that you still feel grounded and you're not going to tilt over or topple over. Hands find your waist and grow tall through the spine. Exhale, hinge forwards over the legs. Start with a nice heavy head and allow your hands to drop down anywhere they like. A little bit of a ragdoll feeling here. We have the legs crossed, so you can just feel the outer legs start to open up a little bit more. Let's begin to send the crown forwards, lifting halfway. And this is where we'll rest the palms on something to help keep the spine supported and long. Make sure your right toes are facing forwards. And we're going to start freeing up your back toes. Float them behind you so you're in a supported warrior 3. Now we'll find that same flow we began with. So bend into the left knee, bring it to the nose, round the spine. Inhale, send the heart forwards, kick through the back heel. Exhale, knee to nose. 3 more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Good. Now kick back through the heel. Stay nice and long. So you're in a supported warrior 3. You can stay supported or lift the hands either to heart center, forwards, or behind you, any variation. Feel a lot of strength in your whole back body, steadiness into the bottom foot, staying grounded. And now I'm going to choose to rest my fingertips back down onto my support. You can keep it lifted if you would like, or then lift it.
Now, bring the left knee behind the right. Bend both knees like you're giving a little curtsy. And then kick back through the heel. Bend back into both knees. Kick through the left heel. This time we're heading all the way down towards the ground. So curtsy all the way down until you land onto your left hip. Ta-da. All right, so we're heading towards Ardha Matsyendrasana, or seated twist. If your right seat is way off the mat, just extend that left leg ahead of you, or you can keep it wrapped here. Okay, so just make sure that you have that seat grounded though. Keep your right fingertips behind you, lean into the kickstand. Float the left fingertips all the way up, and exhale, bend into the elbow. Use your inhales to lengthen through the spine and exhales to rotate. Coming out of this one, spin the other way for a moment. Come back through center, swing your top leg all the way around. Hands find the ground, step to plank. You can flow or not. And we'll meet in a downward facing dog. Take a look forwards towards the hands. Tiptoe, hop or step to meet them. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, float back down. Press through the feet, rise through the fingertips. Exhale, hands come down beside you. Let's do that again on the other side. Left foot crosses in front of the right. Make sure you're grounded. Grow tall through your spine. Take this length with you as you hinge forwards and ragdoll down into a nice passive forward fold. Heavy head, give it a little shake left and right. Send your breath into the outer legs. Slowly start extending the spine and either using your props or not to keep a nice long spine. So left toes shift so they're facing forwards. You can start putting some more weight into that left front foot. Start floating the right heel behind you. So you're in this letter T shape, a supported warrior 3. Now let's float. Exhale, bring the right knee towards the nose, round the spine. Inhale, kick back through the heel. Exhale, drawing it forwards. Inhale, open up. 2 more. Good. Kick back through the heel. You can stay supported here in your supported warrior 3 or float the hands anywhere you wish. Working on your balance, focus, your strength. Once you've played with that enough, perhaps the fingertips come back down. Bend back into the back knee and the front knee. Give yourself a curtsy, right knee behind left. Kick back through, grow tall through the spine. Exhale, little curtsy. Last one, inhale. Lots of length through both legs. Exhale, come all the way down till the right seat lands first, and then your left. Decide once again if you want to straighten out that bottom leg, the right leg. And left hand now comes behind to be your kickstand. Float the right fingertips nice and tall. Exhale, elbow behind knee. Grow tall on every inhale. Every exhale, rotate. Swing yourself back forwards. Take a look the opposite direction. Come forwards. Left foot swings all the way around to the back. Both palms find the ground. Work through your flow or not. From this downward facing dog, we're going to come forwards back to where we started, to the belly. So come forwards through plank. I'm just moving my blocks off to the side and lower all the way down. When you arrive, let yourself become a puddle. I'm going to stack my hands once again, place them under my forehead, and let my breath flow.
Continue to try to breathe in and out through the nose here, but just try to smooth it out where you might feel a couple shudders, a little bit of a heart flutter.
Just breathe nice and slowly.
If there's any exhales that feel like they need to be taken, let them go, let them out. And once you feel like your heart rate has started to calm down a little bit more, let's bring the hands back behind you so the tops of the hands are facing upwards. Once again, I'm going to reach for opposite hands. Remember which thumb is on top and draw the shoulder blades together. Now, my left thumb is on top, so I'm going to cross my left ankle on top. Pull your hands back to start lifting the chest, point the toes, perhaps they lift too, in this weird bound locust. So whichever thumb you have on top, whichever ankle you have on top, remember that. We're going to switch midair. So release that. And now, crossing my right ankle on top of left, right thumb on top of left thumb, continue to lift. And gently release, let it all go. Bring your hands under your shoulders, hips to heels, into a child's pose. Arms outstretched out front. Begin walking your hands towards yourself so you can sit all the way upright and swing your legs around front. Come into a Baddha Konasana for our forward fold today. So soles of the feet together, bend into the knees. Begin with your fingertips behind to press your spine tall. So you want to feel lots of length into the low back. If you can keep that there when your hands come forwards, feel free to do that and continue to walk them forwards. If you feel like you dump straight into your low back there, consider just keeping your hands behind today and send your breath into these tighter areas, into the hips and the glutes. Otherwise, if you're folding forwards, you might choose to hold onto the feet or keep your arms long. Slowly, let's begin to rise all the way back up. Hands come back behind. Soles of the feet come to the ground. Just shake it all out in a little windshield wiper. Let's bring the toes all the way to the top. Give yourself lots of room behind you. Start traveling down to your back body. I'm going to go as slow as I can. Get that extra work in here. And all the way down. Now let's send your heels up towards the ceiling and shake out your legs for a moment. You might want to stay grounded through the shoulders, so give yourself lots of room here, a little T shape. Now let's find some helicopter legs. So kind of spin your legs together. They twist tied together around the thigh, around the knees. Just let them go freely, like you're a little creature from the ocean on the ground, making some funny shapes. The next time your right knee's on top of your left, find your eagle leg. So it might be one time, it might be two. And now let's bring your left elbow on top of right, either holding on to opposite shoulders or once again reaching for palms. Reach your fingertips away from you, your toes away from you, like you're growing really long. And then as you exhale, draw the elbows and knees together with a lift through the upper back, a little eagle crunch. Inhale. Become as long as you can, fingertips and toes away. Exhale, everything gathers. 3 more like this. Inhale, it's reaching long. Exhale, tight little eagle ball. 2 to go.
Good. Once you finish that one, release it all, become a puddle again. All right, we have one more side there. So let's set ourselves up again, rounding through the shoulders, send the legs up, start shaking out the feet. Start windmilling the legs, tying them up from side to side. And when your left knee is on top of right, find your eagle legs. This time, your right elbow nuzzles on top of your left, and find your expression of your eagle arms. Inhale, reach the toes away, fingertips away as well. Exhale, pull them together. We've got 4 to go in your own time. Last little push here before stillness. When you've completed all of them, relax back down. Let's bring the feet into the air. Keep them nice and wide this time. We'll come into a happy baby. So hands come onto the inside of the legs to reach either for the outer feet, big toes, thighs or ankles, anywhere in between. Pull the feet down so you're in this large squat. You might rock from side to side or kick through one heel at a time. It's a great pose to finish with, I find, because I find these little areas I want to get into. And you can straighten the leg, you can work yourself into that area. When you're feeling like these movements are ready to slow down, let's bring the soles of the feet together. So you're back into this diamond shape here, and release the soles of the feet to the ground. So we're landing in this Supta Baddha Konasana shape, this reclined cobblers. Let's stay here for a few more breaths just before we head to our final shape, Shavasana. Just allow your knees to become heavy, to find a little bit of a deeper opening. You can always create little fists here and tuck them under the thighs for support as well, or if you have those blocks close by, they can come to support you. I'm choosing to place one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Allowing big exhales to escape my mouth. You're more than welcome to stay in this shape for the rest of Shavasana, or head to a more traditional one. If you're heading in that direction, just bring the hands behind the thighs, support them closed, and begin extending the heels long towards the mat.
you have nowhere to be, feel free to stay here all day. Feeling the call to rise, slowly invite a deeper breath in. And exhale, let it go. Begin inviting some small and familiar movements back to the hands and feet. Reaching your arms overhead and toes away from you, stretch like you just woke up. Begin rolling over to your side body. And eventually all the way to a seat. May all beings be happy and free. May our thoughts, words, and actions contribute in some way to happiness and freedom for all. Thank you for coming to your mat, moving and breathing, staying present with yourself. Namaste.